So when we talk about why lumbar stability and thoracic mobility is important in terms of the swing, what we're talking about is really two different areas of the swing. So number one, it's being able to dissociate the pelvis from the thoracic spine. Right, as you work into foot plant. So it's being able to hold this back here as your pelvis starts to open and this rotates down, right? It's not a very big move. It's smaller in some guys, bigger in others. Depends on the looseness or tightness of each athlete. But regardless, it's still present at least a little bit in each guy, where at least especially from the front, you're gonna see this pelvis opening as the upper half maintains this position here before it then goes and turns. So that's the first part that we're going to see it, is our ability to create that initial separation. Number two is going to be actually when you're going to decelerate or when you're finishing your swing. So what I mean by that is Mike Trout, Josh Donaldson are two guys that do this really well. But what you'll see with them is once they've gotten into contact, right, the lumbar spine stays pointing wherever it's pointing, then they finish rotation with their thoracic spine. So this doesn't continue rotating, right? This doesn't continue rotating left. It stops, and then they finish with their thoracic spine. Because if you try to rotate any further, right, you're going to crank on that lower back, and that can be or cause health issues for some guys if they don't have the ability to rotate their thoracic spine on top of their lumbar spine. So not only can it cause health issues, but it could also cause performance issues. So basically, if you're telling a guy, right, to stay on the baseball, what staying on the baseball really looks like is being able to have that thoracic spine rotate over the lumbar spine. So if you think about, if a guy isn't able to do that, if he's not able to execute this move at the end, right, where his thoracic spine is rotating over his lumbar spine, his body knows that. So what it's going to do is not allow him to get to that point. So he's going to be forced to spin this way just to keep himself, spin this way and over rotate, right, just to keep himself healthy and to stay away from injury. So you can tell a guy like that all you want, hey, stay on the baseball, but he might not physically have the ability to do so. That's why you should refer back to the thoracic spine test that I showed earlier in this article, then also the exercises to improve it that are up there as well. Once you've determined that you have the adequate thoracic range of motion to be able to do this properly, this is the progression that I like to use to help guys feel and then learn what it actually means to rotate the thoracic spine on top of their lumbar in terms of the swing and how that can also help them, which we'll get into. But so first progression is going to be just take something like a foam roller and we're pinching it between our legs, right? So what we're trying to do here is lock our hips straight forward so that we can feel those staying stable and not moving. And then we're going to take this bat across just like this, get a little bit of a hinge forward. Then we're just feeling that rotate, right, while our belly button stays pointing straight forward. So just getting that feel of rotating the thoracic spine on top of the lumbar spine. So that's number one. Once they got that kind of figured out, we'll get rid of the foam roller and then go into a split stance like we were hitting right here. Same thing. Just get that feel of everything here is staying straight and we're just rotating around that. Once you got that, you can go ahead and open up the pelvis, right? Same thing. Thoracic spine on top of the lumbar. So what you'll see if guys are doing this incorrectly, or if they don't really know how to do it, is you'll see everything just rotating at once, right? You want to be able to feel this happening right here. So that's the next progression. After that, we'll move into a feet together, striding out, and then just finishing right there. Almost like we're slapping the ball back by our back shoulder, right there. So from the front, it should look like that. Right, done incorrectly, it looked like that, where again, everything's just rotating and over-rotating as one. All right, that feel of staying on the ball is being right there, just like that. So once they kind of got the feel for doing that with the bat across their shoulder, we'll now go ahead and do that same progression, but with their bat actually in their hands. And there's a couple different ways to do this. What I like to do, at least to start, is just put the hands right at the back shoulder and then also have it low like this. But you can also eventually get here as well. This isn't super specific to your swing. It's just really teaching you what this movement should look and feel like. So anyways, if we go here, we're gonna go through that same progression. So lumbar spine stable, rotate the thoracic over top of it, and you'll notice that this is different than just shooting the hands forward, right? This is not our goal. Our goal is to still keep them by the back shoulder and to deliver it with the back shoulder, but we're not just rotating everything to get there. Right, we're now using proper segmentation to get there. So that's number one. Same thing, we're gonna take the foam roller away, get as if we just landed, right, in our hitting stance. Here, rotate, open up the pelvis, rotate. And this one can be good for guys to feel kind of that, like I talked about at the beginning, where as the pelvis is opening, right, we're getting a little bit of dissociation there. This is a good one to feel that, where you're opening the pelvis and just rotating. Once guys have a feel for that, we'll go back to feet here, and then just a little bit of a rotation at the end. So again, if I show you from the front, what you'll see here is now, this looks a lot like staying on the baseball, where if I were to take a full swing and do that, right, now I'm still rotating here and staying on the baseball as I finish, right, my direction is still towards center field. Whereas if I were to just spin off, everything would be going this way, right? And we're over rotating, direction is to the left. That's when you hit a lot of rollover ground balls or slice balls to right field. So this is just a good way to feel, or to show again that just because you tell a guy to stay on the ball and he doesn't do it, doesn't mean it's a swing issue, right? It could literally be that his body can't do that. So we need to make sure that we, number one, go through and check and see if he has the core stability or the lumbar stability that he needs. Number two, he needs to have the thoracic mobility that is required. Then number three, he needs to be able to understand what rotating the thoracic spine on top of the lumbar spine actually looks and feels like, and this progression can be a great way to teach that.